What's that in the distance? Could it be... Yes! It's drawing time! Well, hello there, I'm Détroit. Today, no glove, no strange concept, something nice and simple. Let me whip out a face real quick. The point of today's drawing is going to be adding hair to that face. Before you start commenting to say the face is a bit wonky, first of all, subscribe, and secondly, I'm not great at faces, especially without being able to Ctrl-Z my way out of it. I did a very basic pencil sketch before I started recording, but I still messed up a bit. The mouth is not centered, the chin isn't curved in the right place, and the eyes are strangely spaced. I know all of that. Now, does it matter? Not really. At least on my part. I don't really care. If my goal is producing a cool picture, I could fix it in Photoshop later. My goal, however, is just to draw. It's drawing time, that's what it means. It also means in a second I'll be rambling about a random topic completely unrelated to drawing. Before I get to talking about possibly injuring myself snowboarding, I have a bit more things to say about the drawing. This drawing process took 40 minutes, not including the pencil sketch since I didn't record it. I don't always sketch before doodling with ink, but today I didn't really have an idea in mind, so I penciled a few lines. These lines made me think of a face, so I turned them into a face. Then I had the idea of inking the hair, and that is how this drawing got started. Most of the time I go straight to abstract doodles, but if I want to represent something instead of just an amalgamation of abstract patterns, starting with the sketch is helpful. This sort of drawing with long flowy lines I usually do with the rotring isograph, but today I opted for a pilot fineliner. Don't ask me why, I don't know. I have a plastic glass full of pens on my desk and I probably grabbed the first one I put my fingers on. In total, I have like 4 boxes of pens and pencils, but I keep the main ones in the Havana Club plastic glass. Havana Club is written on it, it's not just a name I gave it. More than just pens, this glass also has scissors, a small metallic roller, my pencil eraser, a lot of pencils, a universal screwdriver, a nail clipper and an X-Acto knife. It's very exciting, I know. It's what my workstation looks like, what can I say? Anyway, enough talk about drawings. Let's talk about something more exciting. Snowboarding. I mentioned it a few times. I love snowboarding. I started snowboarding something like 12 years ago, but for more than half of it I could only go for a week per year. I didn't used to live near mountains, so even though I was lucky my parents were able to take us to ski resorts, the progress was rather slow. More recently, however, 5 years ago, I moved to a city that's in the middle of the French Alps. I took full advantage of that when I was a student. Now, however, I am paid for my work, so I can afford to go almost every weekend during the winter. This season had a very slow start, there wasn't a lot of snow. Last weekend, or rather a few weeks ago by the point this comes out, I finally got to strap my boots on and get back into what is probably my favorite sports. All of that to say what exactly? That I'm kinda good, but not too much at snowboarding. I can go anywhere, any sort of slope. I can also ride outside the slopes if I know the place. Like, I wouldn't risk being stuck on a slope above a huge cliff. I also go through parks, but I only go straight across the jumps and the tables, basically. This year, my goal is to learn to 180 and 360. I tried to do that last weekend with a friend. The park was closed because there wasn't enough snow, but on a closed slope we found good jumps. And they were on the powder, so even if I fell, it was relatively safe. Safer than hard compacted snow anyway. Which was good, because I did fall. A lot. I hit my head so much. 3 times I got a bad whiplash that got me an instant headache. I think it was dumb on my part to jump the 3rd time. But that's the thing, you need to try again and again. Each time I was closer to my goal, which was the 180 by the way. The 3rd time though, I got a really bad whiplash. And now is the time for a quick message about safety. Wear a helmet. Even if you're a beginner, wear a helmet. Skiing, snowboarding, and no matter if you are on green slopes or black slopes, you never know what could happen. Skiing is considered an extreme sport. It's become the norm to wear a helmet now, but I still see people ski without one. I remember when I was a kid we would never wear a helmet, and now I think it's really stupid. Second equipment that might be interesting, especially if you're getting into jumps like I am, is a back protection. It's like a jacket with an impact diffusion plate on the back. You can still bend your back and move around easily, but an impact will be greatly reduced. And a back protection is a direct segue into my second injury. By the way, my head is fine. I looked for symptoms of head trauma or concussions, but nothing, nada. I'm good. 5 days after the whiplashes, my neck still hurts a little bit, but now I can move it any direction, which wasn't the case yesterday. So second injury. This one was scary. Last weekend we were on a closed slope. The reason it was closed was that there wasn't enough snow for the snow groomer to make a proper slope. Under the snow were rocks. They were about everywhere. To put it simply, I went down a path that was really steep. Before I could slow down, my board got over a rock that sent me flying straight down at high speed against another rock. In the air, I couldn't shift my body and I just hit the rock really hard, right above my butt, in the lumbar region. It sucked the air out of my lungs instantly, and I had to sit down for about 5 whole minutes before I started to move. Now, think about it. It was maybe 5 centimeters to the side of my spine. My spine was protected by the back protection, so I probably would have been a bit hurt but fine had it hit 5 centimeters or 2 inches to the side. Without a back protection, the same scenario could have resulted in me not being able to walk ever again. Extrapolate the same impact at high speed with a rock, but against your skull. That would be instant death, or best case scenario, being fully paralyzed for life. And that is coming from a guy that likes snowboarding a lot but who never take big risks, and who knows this particular ski resort very well. The risk is always there. Protective gear is important. Now that's all I wanted to say. My hip/butt/lumbar region is fine. I got a big bruise on it and it still hurts a bit when I push on it, but it's okay. In 2 days I'll be back on the slopes again. Hopefully I will master the 180 soon. I hope you enjoyed this drawing. I'm sorry I got deep into talking about snowboarding. I get really passionate when talking about protective gear for skiing. So many people without helmets still. Tell me in the comments if you wear a helmet, like the video, or do whatever you want at your own risk. Subscribe for drawing videos that will be more focused on drawing next time, I promise. I'm Detroit and I'll see you soon. Bye!